こんな世界だからこそ全部夢を追わなきゃ。僕も仲間も。
Hey everyone, Ink here. So many of you know this is a total banter video. Many of you know that I ran Sabin in 50 consecutive chaos levels. He never got locked out. I stopped him, I think, right around VV getting his EX Plus, just because I wasn't having too much fun anymore. Like, running it was sort of too easy to solve that puzzle. So when Lufe came around, I got really excited to try and use Sabin again. And you know what? Had no issues, genuinely. So this is just a stitched together compilation of the first 3 Lufe fights of Sabin utterly dominating. And when I say that, sure, he is not putting out the big numbers that others do, but you know what? His EX deals more damage than Noctis. And he was delaying in all of these fights, most notably in 8's Lost Chapter. There's no way the team would have completed without Sabin. He was awesome, and he was hitting hard throughout. And even in Kurasame's Lost Chapter, Kurasame's event, I didn't even swap Sabin. He lasted the entire fight. No problem. It was great. And I had to use Warrior of Light for that. But otherwise, it's not like I'm using some crazy big synergy or anything like that. Warrior of Light is an excellent synergy unit. Don't get me wrong. But in 8's Lost Chapter, I didn't even use synergy, and I still managed to use my favorite, right? So for me, in this game, what I find enjoyable is using my favorite. This includes anyone in FF6, but Sabin especially. I'm hoping he gets his LD on Gladio's Lost Chapter. I'm certainly expecting it, because Vayne should get his burst later. But for me, Sabin makes me super happy to use him. Even at this point, he's now 11 months old since his last update. He still doesn't have character boards. They're coming in just a couple weeks, or maybe a week. Yeah, a week. So the thing that I wanted to just touch briefly on is I feel like there's a lot of random pressure that unintentionally gets laid out by the community for people that really like doing flexing for 0 turn runs, for 0 boss turns taken, for like solos especially, where people say, oh, this Lufe is so easy, I soloed it with 8. All right, well, 8 is synergy. Go solo X-Death's Lost Chapter with 8. Tell me how that goes. It just feels like the best analogy that I could come up with this, I love analogies, and it's like, imagine your friend comes over your house and says, this is probably like 10 years ago, and is like, dude, I just bought Lego Star Wars and I built the X-Wing in a day. How long did it take you? Like, what are you gonna do to respond to that? You're probably gonna like look away and just walk away from them and not even respond to them. Like, I don't understand why people want to flex that they got 0 turn runs doing synergy or using extremely powerful characters. Like, do a 0 turn run without Noctis. How about that? That I would love to see. Because that would be genuinely impressive. But don't flex these things. If you use them like Vayne Novus of the Tonberry Troop, right? Vayne is awesome, and he always does 0 turn runs. He does low boss turn runs, all that kind of stuff. But he does it not for the sake of flexing, but for the sake of teaching the community, pushing himself harder to learn about various parts of the game and how to best maximize characters. And that's the best way that it should be done, right? I feel like people that flex, and if you flex your gacha rates, oh my God, do you run around when you win the lottery? Do you run around to people and say like, I just won the lottery? No, they'll punch you and take your wallet. Like, I don't understand flexing. I don't know why people do it. It's sort of crazy. This leads me back to talking about like evaluation of success and how different people probably find success in this game specifically. Success is a pretty like, you can interpret it a lot of different ways in real life, but in this game, like for a lot of people, it's just completing content. For some people, it's pulling the characters that make them the most happy. For others, it's collecting everything, which is super hard in this game. So here's, by the way, Sabin just doing work. By the way, I barely used skills that fight. I just want to say this fight was totally tragic that I lost the recording of it. I want to post the whole thing. Sabin had to, he got swapped for Noctis friend here. I just figured I'd post this whole thing, whatever. But Sabin delayed the beasts 3 turns in a row in order to make sure that Bosch's turn came up so that Bosch could use his AA and heal, because Vivi was killing him. Like, there are very few characters that you could say, oh, I need to delay AoE 3 turns in a row. How many characters can do that? I don't feel like thinking of who can do it, but it's pretty limited, I would say, to do it 3 turns in a row. But like this didn't even have synergy. Although I would argue that VV probably performs above synergy characters right now. That little dude is awesome. But just going back to my previous thing that I was saying of like evaluating success, like just play this game however you want and don't let other people pressure you into pulling for a specific character or doing some random run that literally means very little. Like, if you want to pressure yourself to do things, that's your own prerogative. Don't let other people do it, because I feel like you're just living by somebody else's standards at that point. This banter may be getting real deep, guys. Sorry. I apologize, but I just felt like 8's Lost Chapter pushed this like really far, and also the people saying that Kurasame's event was like trivially easy. Kurasame's event was pretty dang hard. If you did not have Kurasame and you didn't have Warrior of Light, it was not the most straightforward thing in the world. And if you had 8 and you're just like, this was so easy, don't say things are easy, don't flex. Why don't you help people? If you bought the Lego Star Wars, why don't you say like, I did Lego Star Wars in a day. Can I show you how? Would it help you if I showed you how? I think this is really cool. Like, aim to enlighten and not to flex. Maybe it's just the natural tendency of the internet and I'm fighting a losing battle here. That's definitely possible. But I just thought that would be relevant. Anyway, I don't know. Comment on what you think the biggest, like if you've gotten pressure to do something specific in the game, holler. I would be very, very curious. This sort of goes back, I think it was a TUI project commented on my last video when I was talking about deltas, and I was talking about roster deltas, and they mentioned also the aspect of fun deltas, like how much more fun will I have with this character? So for me, like Kurasame is a 0 fun factor. Like there's nothing that excites me about Kurasame. Also, Bosch is the biggest meat shield in the game. Holy crap. What better way to end a Sabin and Lufania video than hitting max capped damage on an EX on the boss? That was epic. So that was super cool. Let's get into 8 now. Starting off with more Phantom Rushes. You can see it's doing a little bit less damage. I'm running this with 2 buff attack up and 1 330 on him with 3 108s. So yeah, although I probably should have just went straight triple 108 330 with this team because Realm and Warrior of Light provide so much battery. It's nuts. Yeah. What was I talking? Oh yeah, so like Kurasame adds no fun for me. Like I pulled his LD because I was capped on tickets. That's the biggest first world problem I've ever heard. It was mainly because I absolutely hate not being able to complete summon boards. So I just had to pull, and I also, the other thing is that I pulled Kuja. I allotted a very high budget of 600 tickets to get his kit, and I got it in less than that. So I had leftover, and I wanted to just grab Kurasame because I'm pitying the next 3 banners. So Gao, Gladio, and Lightning. I am using gems on all of it, and if it takes me 350k, like whatever, I saved for it. And no, I'm not a whale or anything like that. I just don't mix gems and tickets. I don't know why people want to do that. Like if you do it, fine, but don't complain about your RNG. If you enjoy throwing $20 on red, have fun. Like I totally have done that, but I don't get upset when it hits black or green. But yeah, just like for most of the characters coming up, I think you need to look at the roster delta in terms of the value delta that they provide. Like, will you be able to do more content with this character or not? Will you actually use them? And then also the fun delta that Atui Project mentioned, because if you're gonna have a lot more fun with a character, like that's why I pulled Machina. I never played Type 0. I don't know. I know only what everyone else knows from the story in the game about Machina. But you know what? Machina is damn fun to play in this game. He is very satisfying to play, which is super cool. Anyway, these guys are these bugs are crazy. So yeah, with me pitying the next 3 banners, I'm gonna have lots of tickets. I want to ticket pull Reno and Rude, probably skipping Camelot, although his call is so damn good that I want it. But calls aside, like I just don't have any affinity for Camelot personally, as I'm sure most. I still think he looks like a overpaid bouncer in a club personally, but whatever. And I don't know who else. I'm forgetting the Lost Chapter that comes after that. I should probably look it up, and I'm totally just filling space as I go on the Tonberry Troop website and check it out. It is Kieran. Yeah, I'm not gonna pull Kieran. That's why I wanted Strago. Well, no, that's not why. I'm super excited to use Strago on Kieran's Lost Chapter, but I'll probably just pull Reno and Rude next month, and Lightning if you count her. And I'm pulling Lightning. I guess this is interesting to talk about for the last minute or so. So I was researching Lightning on the Decidia DB Discord. So while I was doing her infographic, I popped onto the Discord because while looking over it, I was like, she seems to deal damage that's pretty comparable to Noctis and Arden and other premium damage dealers that we have. Like, what's the deal? I'm curious. By the way, support Rem if you haven't. If you don't, he's an amazing member of the community and enables us all to know so much about the game and is a really nice person on top of it. His Discord's great. And I was just talking to the JP players there, and they were so nice to sort of provide a perspective of like the edge that Lightning has, and this goes moving forward as well, is that she has access to a call. So being able to give her basically extra HP dumps, being able to give her extra modifiers, extra debuffs, like you can throw Setzer's call on her and she can all of a sudden freeze HP damage. Like just having the utility of a call, there's a lot of power in that. So if you have Noctis and Arden fully kitted, like don't feel obligated to pull Lightning. And by the way, these are Phantom Rushes that aren't plus, so he's not ignoring defense. He hits way hard on the plus versions. But I would say look at the premium damage dealers that you're thinking of pulling in the future, because Noctis and Arden aren't going to stop being great once Lightning comes. She probably has a ton of hype and it's totally warranted. She's very powerful, but so are they. So I think you might want to look at that and decide for yourself. For me, I really want a premium damage dealer with a BT that is not tied to elements like Vaughn, or is specifically specialized with AoE like Squall. I sort of skipped all the other premium damage dealers for the most part. They're BT, so I would like that, and I have the resources for it, so I can pull pretty responsibly. But honestly, I've wanted Lightning since Jin Lee did How to Play Lightning and compared her kit to Poetry. Jin's channel is awesome. Check it out. But I hope you enjoyed my Sabin runs. I certainly love them. I'll keep doing them as long as I can. And be well, be safe, and thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.